Hi everyone, this is Dion Lyle with Ficeri25, your host for Fintech 5. A quick 5-minute overview of things going on in fintech. I was in New York last week, and it occurred to me that there's a lot of talk of what's the fintech capital? London, New York, or my hometown, San Francisco Bay Area. Let's go over that today. So, London. Love London. I'm an Arsenal fan, my favorite soccer team. But also, I love London for their fintechs, Revolut, TransferWise, Oak North, and many others. So they're very strong in fintechs and their banks too, HSBC, Barclays, Lloyds, and again, others. Shoreditch, they have this great area of innovation, fintech activity. They don't, however, have any big tech. So you kind of have to ding them for that, but a really solid area to do fintech innovation. Then you've got New York City, where I was last week. Really love the energy. Very cool city. Very strong in banks, obviously Chase, Citi, Goldman, and others. Very strong financial center. I do consider it more PE than VC, but they have an increasing fintech activity there. Betterment, Stash, Symphony, and others. So definitely a really solid area for financial services innovation. And of course, my hometown, San Francisco, Silicon Valley. It's weak on banks. There's only really two banks, big banks in the area, Wells Fargo and Silicon Valley Bank, both amazingly good banks. But there aren't as many banks here as there used to be. B of A, as an example, moved to Charlotte years ago. We do have our famous fintech, Stripe, Coinbase, Robinhood. But the differentiator is, of course, Silicon Valley has Google, Apple, Facebook, Slack, and many, many other tech leaders, Uber, Airbnb, and the list goes on and on. Each of these areas definitely has pros and cons. So let's look at the cons, or as I call it, the badness. New York, lack of tech companies. I do think that's a negative. The cost of housing in New York City, although they do have New Jersey right across the water. Very nice. I actually like New Jersey. Doesn't have the best reputation, but I think it's fabulous. It does have more of a PE than VC lens, and I put that as it's more show me a profit business model, not share your dream. You can take that for what it's worth. London, gray weather. Sorry, I'm a native Californian. That weather just kills me sometimes, but I do love London. Brexit might be nothing, but it might be everything. Could be a huge change. And if it is a big change, the UK itself is not actually a huge market. It really is a great gateway to Europe for sure. The VC ecosystem in London is still lagging, getting better all the time, but still lagging. My home turf, San Francisco, the cost of housing and labor here is ridiculous. The homelessness is just out of control. It's awful. Traffic in the Bay Area is bad, and we lack transit systems here, so you rely on a car a lot more than you would in other areas. And let's face it, all three are large, crowded cities, so it's hard to ding any of them for that. The goodness, the pros of each of these. New York, great transit, access to bankers, financial systems, flights to the UK and Europe, improving VC base. I'll cite RRE and Nike as really good examples there. Shoreditch and London, absolute amazing center of innovation, seem to come out of nowhere. And you have this great dichotomy with Canary Wharf for big banks, and you have the flights to New York. Well, San Francisco VC access is second to none, which I love. Tech companies abound. Many partnerships that you can get are here in the Bay Area. Beautiful weather. Sorry, not to be underestimated as a native Californian. And then you have the flights to Asia, of course. Now, events for fintechs, every week, all three have amazing levels of events. Not an issue. Now, here's the special sauce or the extra bonus. New York, access to other major U.S. metros. Philly, D.C., Boston, train right away. It's fantastic. Access to Wall Street. If you IPO, it's close by. But more importantly, Wall Street traders, Wall Street money, Wall Street activity. London, you have 11FS. I have to call them out. They're a fantastic challenger consultancy. And for now, you have access to Europe. San Francisco, you have the Fintech Investment Bank, FT Partners, run by Steve McLaughlin, who actually now lives in Miami. And then you also have access to the PayPal Mafia, which has just spread far and wide in the Bay Area. I was going to whip out and not choose a winner, but I really am going to say I would choose Silicon Valley for the access to technology companies and best engineers, plus access to VCs. I choose London for global access, and I could say New York for legacy banks and regulators. But none of these are bad choices. They're all just absolutely fantastic centers of innovation for fintech. Well, that was this week's Fintech 5. Thank you for watching. Look forward to your comments.